first question goes to Mr.
Vasconcelos.
Yeah. May I know if your organization is local only in Italy or is a European based organization? And the second one goes to Mr. Chuku. We'd like to know if your organization only also work in England or people from other parts of Europe can join your organization. And also in Africa, how and where do you implement your projects? Thank you.
Very briefly, each nations, they're based in Rome, but this facility for remittances does projects worldwide. So every single region of the world is concerned with this.
Afford is based in London. We're a very small organization. We operate at the moment, we run business support centers in Sierra Leone. We also have programs in Ghana. But what we really, the way we're trying to work, and this is what I'm saying about, is how can we, if we've got a program like that we think works and other organizations could replicate, how do we do that? How do we facilitate that process to have those kinds of mechanisms? And if likewise, if something is working in the Philippines, how can we try it out in one of the African countries? So we don't operate here, but we do work with the Diaspora Forum for Development, and we are working on an initiative which would involve us as migrant and diaspora organizations working and partnering with microfinance institutions, just as I was saying, so that we have a mechanism and a relationship where we can work directly with the microfinance institutions and with their clients. The thing is that we have, through the better education systems here, in many cases acquired a range of experiences and knowledge sets that can be relevant to even a microfinance institution that's trying to scale up its programs. So the challenge we have is how do we utilize that know-how that is in Europe, for example, for most productive impact. And it's more about partnerships. I think rather than us, we're too small, we're not going to come to Netherlands or to France, but if we can partner with your organization, if you've got a mechanism that works, if we have one, if we can find better ways of sharing innovation, franchising the programs that look promising, that's where I see, and I see donors, perhaps playing a better role, more proactive role in facilitating that process, because that's where we are now.
Okay, I think there is a lively discussion now, and there are more questions coming, one on the practical side, one on the policy side. My proposal is because the format of the next session would be a kind of talk show style. We will ask our guests to discuss on particular topic and debate on them. And the idea is that they spend time discussing and there's an audience listening. But maybe what we can do is to have 1 or 2 questions from the audience, which later the speakers will debate on. So because we are really on track, although 15 minutes are a little bit late, I do not like to prolong this discussion unless there is one more participant who would like to raise the question. If not, I would like to suggest that we go for a quick coffee, relax, and then we prepare ourselves for the next session, and then we can discuss more. But before that, I think the questions from the migrant organizations in the Netherlands, particularly on the financing, there are some questions and issues around it. First is that while the policymakers and the development agencies, including the organizations like Oxfam Novib and IFAD and UNDP and in EU, are telling that encouraging migrant organizations to be actively involved in development cooperation or engaging them in development in the countries of origin, and yet there seems to be a kind of inaccessibility of funding from these organizations intended for the hometown associations. Oh, I think that is the issue, very common, not only in the Netherlands, but other countries. But the other issue is being thrown back to the migrant organizations. I said, which organizations, migrant organizations, should benefit from funding assistance? And I think that the criteria of which of these organizations showing sustainability, professionalism, and etc. There, I think, still a lot of discussions. For example, if you want to ask funding assistance for 3 years, you are being asked to have an external audited report. So how many migrant organizations practically have? You are laughing because I know only a very few percentage of migrant organizations in the Netherlands who have an independent audited report. But then the next question is, why don't they have? I think that the issue is you should don't just say yes or no, but find out the reason why. And then the next issue, how can we provide capacity building of migrant organizations so we can scale them up to the next level of organization. So I think that would be something that we can continue here in the Netherlands, the discussion. But as I said, let's have a short break and let's have a good debate as the last session of this conference. See you later. Soon. Thank you very much for our speakers.